Hey, so this is day 5 and I'm recording this video. I did not record yesterday because I do not want to make it a regular thing. If I have time, I'll make sure I do these recordings. If I don't, I will not. And yesterday I even thought like I did not had any progress as such, which I can discuss. So I would make so I re think about the plan, like what could be the frequency I post these videos, and the frequency which fits on my like schedule is 3 or 4 days a week. And on weekends, I saw like I have a lot of time compared to weekdays. And weekdays, it's hard to find time in the evening to because this whole thing is approximately taking 2.5 hours of my time, which I didn't expect it. I hoped it would take like 1.5 hour, but it's going to 2.5 at that point. So yeah, today work-wise, I made a lot of progress, and I have completed a major module in my app. And I think the Mac app which I'm working on is almost ready. It's a very good product. I'm super excited to share it once it's done, because the thing which that app is doing currently no app in the market can do, and that's we are very proud of. Like we have done something which has not been done. It's not a copy app, or it's not something we are looking at some other app and copying the features. It's more like a unique, genuine app which will really, really be impactful if it reaches to the right audience. Again, it sounds very mysterious, like what this app could be. But yeah, I'll start sharing more about it, and even I'll start recording all these sessions with that app if possible in the future. So yeah, and apart from that, in the AI note taking app. So I did a lot of progress in that as well. So I have completed the Notion board. I have completed the competitor analysis. Let me just quickly share if possible here. So as you can see, the competition has been added. I was really surprised. I found a lot more apps than I was anticipating. So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 apps which are doing something similar. But there are only 1 or 2 apps which are actually useful. Others are like, so they are catering to a very, very different demographics, all of those apps I found. And I haven't gone through them like completely. I haven't gone through feature by feature, which I'll do next, tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I'll download all of these apps and try them out. I'll see how the sign up process is. I'll see the reviews. So half of the information is still missing here. But in general, I thought the app which we will build can be a real differentiator. And I'm even thinking to add it, to make it with a philosophy of let's like making Notion or Obsidian. We will build with that philosophy, not a copycat of these apps which exist. But what if like Notion decides to make a voice note taking app, because we can take a lot of design inspiration, we can take a lot of like UX inspiration from them. That would be really helpful. This is what I was thinking in general after looking on all these apps. Other thing I found out was thinking. So I was listening to this podcast today of Lex Fridman and Sam Altman from OpenAI, and in that podcast, it was very long, like 2.5 hours. And I usually listen it when I'm running in a treadmill. So I generally run like 30 minutes. So I have not completed it. So I have listened to it in 2 sessions. It's already like been 1.5 hours, because I do listen most of my podcast in 1.5 speed. Yeah, on the side note, please listen to this podcast as well at 1.5x. That would be the best speed to listen to me, because I speak very slowly. So that will be like a normal speed for someone who is a regular listener of podcasts. So yeah, go down in the settings. You will just increase it to 1.5x. If you're listening on Spotify, it's right there in the dashboard. If you're listening on YouTube, go to the settings, change it to 1.5x. So yeah, I usually listen to podcasts like 2 hour podcast could be like one. I can finish it in 1.5 hours. So yeah, so what I thought is that podcast has so many things which I wanted to note down. It doesn't make much sense if I just go word by word and like pause the pod and start making notes of it. So I was thinking, what if I can just copy the link of that YouTube channel and give it in my app, which I'm thinking, and just it will transcribe the whole podcast and give me the core summary of it. I know most of like I can find a lot of web apps for this. Even I can find some Chrome extensions which do this, but I didn't find any app which is doing this. So it could be one of the differentiator which can help us market. And I don't think it's very hard, because I have already worked in one app just before this as a hobby project, where I was using our YouTube SDK to download the YouTube videos. So I can easily get the MP3, I can easily pass it on, similar to how voice notes are. So they both make so much sense in terms of development. There is not much work, and it can be a great app to think of. So yeah, just an idea I was tinkering with. Next, once I'm done with this week only, today is Wednesday, so we have almost 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. In next 4 days, the plan is to get a basic wireframing designs ready, not like development ready, but an idea ready. Like we should know how our home screen looks like, where user can click, how the navigation looks like, and what are the first features which we lock in the first version. And in terms of designing, I'm not thinking of anything fancy, but I'm thinking in terms of like the Apple's human interface design. I'll follow it natively, so the app feels very native. Okay, so that's it about today's updates. And today I want to touch on another topic because I have been working on ReMotion a lot. Now, what is ReMotion basically? ReMotion is making your videos programmatically. It sounds very weird. Even when I saw the website, I couldn't understand what it does. But this is the main tech which my Mac app is based on, which we are working on. So basically what it does is, as you know, in React, you can make these components, and the whole component system is the React philosophy. You build your whole web app with small components, stitching them together. The same thing which ReMotion has applied to make videos as well. So for example, like let's say, where should I go? Okay, let me just find some example of there, maybe in the docs. Studio, not this. Preview your video, animating the fundamentals, preview. So let's say like we have to make a video where we need to show that these patches are moving backwards, and this vehicle, this toy, or this particular vehicle is like just having a up and down motion. So if this patches are going backward and the car is basically moving up down, it feels like it's moving, and the background remains same. Now, how can we make this video in ReMotion is we will add 3 layers. One layer is the background red layer, which could be a div with a background of this particular red color. Then there is this patch is an image which we lay on background, and we animate it. There are like CSS animation properties. There is an animate.div property, and we can use, even ReMotion provides a very good suite of animation libraries which we can add, and we will make it infinitely just keep moving in the screen. So it will go or extend to the back and then come back again from the front. So it will look like that it's just keep moving infinitely. And then finally we animate this bus just by moving it up and down. So we have made 3 layers and we have animated them, and now we can record or play them in the ReMotion player. So we add a tag like ReMotion tag, and if you go here, I'll show you how it looks like. I think I should have been more prepared to showcase this, but yeah, let's see. So this is how so you are just basically creating a React component, which then you can mount on a player, and then the player shows you a play button where you can show this video. I so much want to show the app which I'm working on now, right? So let me show you. So you see, this is the app which we have built here, and this is what it does basically. It's human.io, and it's not live yet. So once it will be, we'll show it to you guys. But what you can do is, this is a ReMotion player basically, and what I have done, I have 3 layers of videos here. One video layer is the recorded video layer, which has been done from our Mac app. Second layer is me, which is again recorded from a Mac app, and the background is just an image which I have added. So these are 3 layers mounted on top of each other in just a simple React component. Now the main magic which ReMotion does is it stitches them in this video frame, and you can mount it as a composition. So I've just created a React component, mounted it onto the player, and it's now show this player. So I haven't built this player. This player, the time, the volume, the speed, the full screen, all of this is provided by ReMotion player out of the box. Now what I have done is, there are specific places in this video where I want to zoom in and zoom out. If I would have to do it manually, like write the whole code for this, it would take so much time. I'll have to do so many calculations. What I have done is I have used ReMotion's spring animation property, where I can add this animation in this layer anywhere I want and remove it anywhere I want. Now, how does it look like? You see. So let me just play this video. It will just go forward here, and whenever I click, it just zooms out the whole view. Like, it shows you where I have clicked. See? So this is where I'm clicking right now. So it has zoomed you and it's showing you this screen. And if I go in this side, it just scroll to where a cursor is. So it adds these dynamic motions. So it becomes very easy to show any presentation to the viewer. And these are the links which you can just share, similar to what you do with Loom. And there are these embeddings which we add in these videos. So if you are sharing like a presentation to a business, they can directly book a call with you by looking at your product. So this is what we are doing. Like, this is the first time I'm sharing this with anyone, the whole product. And you can even go full screen. I don't know how it was recorded. But yeah, you can go full screen. You can even scrub forward. It will show you these animations happening in real time. So this is the app. This is the human app. And this is what ReMotion is very, very powerful to do. There are a lot of things which you can do here. But if you would want to download this, yeah, this is the very interesting part. If you want to download this particular video, it's not possible out of the box, because this is not a video in general. This is a layer of like just React components which are just staged on top of each other, and programmatically they are playing together. So it feels like it's a video which is being playing. But technically, there is a background layer which is just an image. Then there is a video recorded layer, which is again a video tag with some source URL of the source file with shadows added with CSS property. Then there is this webcam. This is also a video feed which is made, this div is made as Squircle. Those three are just added together, staged together to show it as a video. Now, how can we download this video? So to download, what we have to do is we pass it on to, again, we have to pass this information to a server where ReMotion is running, and we run some commands where ReMotion stitches each frame by frame. So what ReMotion will do is ReMotion will play it on its own like server and try to find each frame, record each frame, and then punch them together, make an MP4 and give it to you. Now this process takes a lot of time. If you go here, rendering, right? So yeah, there are a lot of rendering options here. One is like you can just get the still images, the whole bunch of images will come out, and you can just go into an editing software and merge them together to make a video. Another is you can even render into a GIF. So technically ReMotion is kind of an engine which knows every single frame in your video, because it has done it in the player. You have staged a React component, and it knows each frame by frame motion. So it can get each image, stitches them together, and gives you a downloadable MP4, which in our case we don't need, because we just want to show the video. So that's the rendering is happening on the client side. So technically we are saving a lot of our own resources by showing the stitched video to the user with the zoom and zoom in effect. Even user can on the fly edit them. We give an edit like a web editor where user can go and trim the video, can remove the zooms or add the more zooms. All those features are automatically provided. Now to make this process a bit simpler, what ReMotion gives us is this Lambda. I have already done this Lambda testing in one of my own project long time back. What I can do is I can just host a Lambda function. So they distribute like 5 Lambda functions together, and these 5 Lambda functions will render our video in parallel in 5 positions. So like it breaks down our video into different frames. So one Lambda function will just download the 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, and then stitch them together. So it becomes like a 5-minute video in 1 minute, basically. Just a sample, but this is what these Lambda functions are capable of. They can scale up to 200 if the video is very long. So it's not very time consuming process. It takes a lot of resources though. So each video rendering can cost you somewhere around 10 cents or 20 cents. So for example, in our app, we give an option where user has to download every single video. It will cost us a lot of money. So we generally give these download features only in the premium versions. Even I have noticed Loom does that. So maybe Loom is also using ReMotion on their backend. And yeah, and then what these Lambda functions do is they stitch your video, convert it to an MP4, uploads them into an S3. You have to give all the access to your AWS accounts. So you must have an AWS account. They have some plans to release it for, I think, yeah, they are on Cloud Run also, the Google's Cloud Run. It's still in alpha, so I would not pick this Google version. I have already tested Lambda, works really fine, so pretty good with this. So yeah, this is ReMotion. I just wanted to touch on this. Some of the good parts about ReMotion is sorry, is the animations which they provide out of the box. So let me just show you a quick guide. ReMotion motion blur. Yeah, so they have these very standard libraries created out of the box from their team. So if you go to the ReMotion motion blur, right, and you see this. So this is again a React component which is animating with CSS, just an image which is coming up with this animation. But if I can mount this on a player, it will look like a video is being playing, or I can download it as a GIF, I think. Okay, this is just a random player. Now they have given this motion blur feature. So what I can do is I can, whenever it's animating it, you see this blurry effect. So it looks very natural. The motion blur effects are generally to show a natural animation is happening. It feels a bit pleasing to our eyes when we see such animations happening. So what we can do is, if I increase the shutter angle, you see this side, the blurriness increases a lot, and you can notice on the right side where the player is running, it's just becoming more blur to coming to crystal clear. So you can play with a lot of such properties in your videos when you're making. So I know a lot of companies which are popping up, or small indie hackers hacking with ReMotion. So ReMotion can be a very great tool to make such programmatical video. Some of the use cases I can share is, so for example, now it's time when we are moving towards more video content. So less of all the social networks are giving less preference to text or images, higher preference to videos. So what these people are doing, like what these devs or indie devs are doing, is they're creating these small tools which convert your maybe a tweet or some stats into videos. One of that tool is Anim Stats. So I know the founder of this company, and what they are doing is, I'll show you. So they give you these templates. So for example, like let's say you reach to your 1,000 followers on Twitter. I hope I will one day. So you can go there, choose like a template. Maybe they have given this sample, right? Maybe a GIF with 2 people dancing, and there with this number counter which goes from 1 to 4,000, and then confetti pops up. So this is all built using ReMotion. The whole template, it's just a React component basically. You can code a React component like in 30 minutes or 1 hour, and then this whole counter you can customize. Like I can say, okay, I have reached to 1,000, or I can reach to 2,000. It's all dynamic, and then you play it. It will show you a very nice video playing, and you can then download or update it, or just convert it into a GIF. So get started for free. Let me just show you. It's a very interesting product. I recently made a confetti when I shared my newsletter using this tool. Let me quickly show you. So you see, follower 4,000 with the proper animations happening. Yeah, this confetti effect happening, and this is the player, which is a ReMotion player. So the dev did not have to do a lot of work to create these kind of effects, because basically it's a React component with a few animations. So the task for him was to arrange these templates together. And if you go to this, for example, you have reached to a certain milestone in a graph, you can, because in Twitter a lot of people share these kind of images. Right now people are sharing images, but you will notice with time, like next month or next year, we will see a lot of videos coming up in our profiles. And that's why these creators are trying to sell these kind of products. And this is not the only product. There are a ton of such products which are making use of ReMotion. So if you are thinking of making something with videos, ReMotion is the main library to go with in terms of if you want to build with TypeScript. But to note, it's easy to build, but it's not easy to scale, because the cost at download cost increases, and then you'll have to give a very premium plans or pricing plan. It's easy to see the MVP working and then think of scale. I would not fret a bit more on this. It's good to test the waters basically. If you see your app is scaling huge, then you can then decide to move out of ReMotion, build your own system of rendering using local rendering or something like that. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. And the second thing is, because if you're talking about videos, right, then there are a lot of things in videos. For example, let me just give you an example of this app only, of our app. So right now, all these two videos which you are seeing, these are hosted on Fire Storage. Fire Storage is a file storage system where you can store any MP3, any music file, any audio file, anything you can store in that, because it's a storage system. Similar to S3, AWS S3, it's a storage engine. Now when I try to run this app, it loaded very fast, but if it's the video, it's a huge video, let's say it's 30 minutes video, and I scrub to this position, it will not immediately load, because what browser is trying to do is it's fetching that file, downloading it completely till this end, from start, from 0 to this end, and once it has this section ready, then only it will start playing. So for a 30-minute video to reach to the end immediately, it's very time taking, and user experience goes down if for example, if the network speed is low, you have to download the whole video basically, and user cannot scrub, move back and forth until the whole video is downloaded. So this is a major problem in streaming apps, and you would not notice this in YouTube, in Netflix, or any huge app. Why? Because they use something called streaming videos. So streaming videos is a technology which is run by HLS. So which is called HTTP live streaming. So what does HTTP live streaming means is, basically, just very simple definition is, your video, let's say this video, is broken down into multiple fragments. It's broken down into chunks of 1 second, and if it's a 60-second video, so there are 60 video files stored on backend, and depending on where you are, they all are downloading parallelly. So, and they start stitching on this timeline. So if I move in exact this position, it does not have to download the whole file. It just needs to download 32 second file. So that's a 1 second file. It's very fast to download that file. Then if I move here, it's just downloading 43rd second file. So that's why the scrubbing becomes super easy. Now, if the file is like S264 encoded, then it still takes time. That's the story of some other day we'll talk about. And that's about like encoding, decoding locally on the client side using GPU. It's a big mess. There are a lot of things happening on that, but we are just talking about streaming of videos. So streaming of videos with HTTP live streaming happen this. And now what are the providers we can use? Even I am planning, once we release this app and we see initial good traction, my plan is to move to, so basically I can move to Cloudinary streaming. So you see, this is the Cloudinary streaming platform which has good resources there, or we can move to Cloudflare video. They do provide, they do provide these HLS encodings, or we can move to Mux. Mux is like one of the, I think, oldest or the most customizable one, but I think it's very costly. So most of the companies like Dropbox, Robinhood, they use it for these programmatical videos for live streaming. And if you see, these live videos are being played, even TikTok or big huge companies. So TikTok will not obviously use them. They have their own HLS system. They do not want to rely on a third-party service. But yeah, Mux is really interesting, and it's very pricey. It's very customizable. You can do a lot of things which you cannot in others. But my favorite is Bunny CDN. Bunny CDN. This one. The main reason is it's super simple to plug. Secondly, if I upload any file to Bunny CDN, like let's say if I upload this file, first of all, it will be distributed over a CDN. So CDN means like the whole content delivery network. What does it mean is, if I'm in India, I will be downloading the file from the nearest location in India. Let's say they have a server in Mumbai, so I'll be downloading that file from there. If I live in like America and the nearest server is New York, the user will be downloading it from New York. So latency becomes slower, the download speed becomes faster. Most of the services are like that only. I think Mux provides CDN, Cloudflare provides CDN. So yeah, this is the thing with these softwares. Another thing which Bunny CDN I really like is, once you upload the image, I haven't seen Cloudflare Stream or Mux do that, but in Bunny CDN, once you upload a video, it's first of all, it's transcoded into an MP4, whatever file you give, and then they give you the thumbnail directly from an API, and they also make a GIF WebP. So it's a moving image. It's really good to show in thumbnail. So for example, if I am not like I am in this page, right? I just loaded this page. I do not want to play it. What I can do is I can put a WebP image, which will show the GIF kind of animation, repeated animation. So it feels a bit dynamic. Like it will show me my mouth moving or me moving the first few frames, which Bunny CDN will do it automatically once I upload. I do not have to do anything. I just upload the file, it converts, it first distributes it to the CDN which I have selected. Second, it converts it into an HLS encodings, and then it also creates the thumbnail and it also creates the WebP. Super interesting. Once I'll move into this, like building this thing, I'll update more, like what my experience is basically. I have tried it in a very small sample last week, and the experience was good. Like the whole speed of huge videos has a tremendous upgrade. And yeah, one more thing I forgot to talk about HLS. For example, if you're in a low latency network, like if I'm on a 2G network, and if I scrub like this and it's downloading on a 26-second, and if I have if I have HLS enabled for 4K, it will not download the 4K version because it knows your speed is low, it's taking too much time. It will automatically scale down and download the 240p version. So Bunny CDN or these providers will automatically transcode your video into multiple formats. It's not doing just the chunking, it's also doing these pixel breakdowns. So they will create these 240p, 360p. I think you see that on YouTube. So that's what these providers do. You do not have to, like I do not have to do anything or build anything by myself. They handle all of that. Very interesting technology. Like if you want to build something on ReMotion with the help of CDN, I think, with the help of these video streams, it's the right time. And with AI, you can do so many things, like make dynamic videos, make anonymous dynamic videos with these kind of APIs. It's super interesting time, and these are all the tools which you have in the market which you can use to build such systems. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on this, and again, thank you so much for listening this pod. Again, I'll be making another video soon. So thank you, good night, and have a nice day. Bye bye.